If Peyton Manning stays in the Colts, we lose Broncos Super Bowls, MVP winners are different, and the next 15 plus years of football are changed forever. If the sheriff's forehead was a little smaller, putting just a little less pressure on his neck, then no surgery, no sitting out the 2011 season, no first overall pick for the Colts in 2012. I think you see where I'm going with this. If Indy doesn't draft Andrew Luck, the Redskins, who originally traded up with the Rams to get the second pick, still make a deal with St. Louis, who now has the first pick, and Washington snags Andrew Luck. Holding the second pick and now in position to take one of the top quarterbacks, the Browns draft RG3. Now, we've seen RG3 in a Browns uniform, and his biggest achievement was saving them from going 0-16 the first time. So let's move on. With Manning being a forever Colt, Peyton is going to keep the team afloat for the foreseeable future. Meanwhile, the Luck-Shanahan duo, no, the other Shanahan, you know, the one who's actually won a Super Bowl? Yeah, they take the league by storm, all the way to the conference championship, where they lose to San Francisco. In the AFC, the Tim Tebow-led Denver Broncos shock absolutely no one and fade back into irrelevance. Anyway, Manning gets the Colts back to the playoffs, but they still lose to the Ravens. Different horse mascots, same result. 2012 still concludes with the Ravens winning the Harbaugh Bowl. Nothing too crazy, yet, but we move into 2013. This is where things get insane in a hurry. With Luck under center and one of the most talented offensive coaching staffs ever assembled, along with Pro Bowlers in Pierre Garçon, Alfred Morris, and Trent Williams, the Redskins' offense is elite. They dominate a weak NFC East. Luck wins MVP, and Washington snags the number 1 seed. The team rides this momentum all the way to an NFC Championship rematch with the 49ers. But this time, the Redskins are more experienced, and they've learned from last year's 49ers matchup. They win and move on to the Super Bowl. On the other side, the Manning-led Colts put on a clinic, and the Sheriff beats Brady in the playoffs like he really did in 2013. And right away, we've got a Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck Super Bowl matchup. This quarterback heavyweight showcase becomes one of the most exhilarating and high-scoring Super Bowls we've ever seen. The game doesn't start with a snap over Manning's head, and the back-and-forth slugfest features blow-for-blow scoring until late in the game, Manning connects for a deep touchdown with his Pro Bowl wide receiver T.Y. Hilton to put the game away. And Manning wins his second ring with the Colts. By 2014, the Patriots finally woke up from their dynasty hangover and systematically demolished the AFC. And Brady continues this dominance over Peyton and the Colts on their way to the Super Bowl. And at the start of the season, Washington loses offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan, but his replacement, Sean McVay, isn't too bad himself. He might even be good enough to win a Super Bowl. With the addition of Deshaun Jackson, an elite deep threat to Luck's arsenal, the team is still a championship contender. This great offense takes it up another notch, all the way to a third straight conference championship, but they fall to Seattle's elite defense. The Patriots-Seahawks Super Bowl matchup that we all remember ends with Marshawn Lynch punching in the game-winning, oh yeah, they passed it. 2015 is different. The NFC is experiencing a shift in power as the 49ers and Seahawks have fallen off. However, the Redskins are still elite. The conference becomes a 2-team race between Washington and the MVP Cam Newton-led Panthers. But Carolina is outcoached and facing championship experience competition. Luck and the Redskins make it back to the Super Bowl. In the AFC, the Broncos don't throw their 401k at defensive free agents. So their defense is still good, just not historic. And as for the Colts, we all remember how bad 39-year-old Peyton Manning played in his final season in Denver. And it's no different here. We've officially hit the Peyton Manning drop-off. The Colts are just trash. Without Indy or Denver, the Patriots' biggest competition in the AFC is the Cincinnati Bengals. So we've got a Patriots-Redskins Super Bowl 50 matchup. Elite coaching and elite quarterbacks going head-to-head. In the end, Luck's number 1 scoring offense knocks off Matt Patricia's defense. Andrew Luck and the Washington Redskins win the Lombardi Trophy. Entering 2016, Washington loses McVay, and they take a small step back, finishing second in the NFC East, behind the Dak Prescott-led Cowboys. The league officially loses Manning to Father Time, and without him, as we saw when he was injured in 2011, Jim Caldwell's Colts are the worst team in the league. As we enter 2017, the Colts are faced with a colossal need at quarterback, but this is simply a bad quarterback draft. And more than that, next year's batch looks great. So with the first overall pick, they go in a different direction and take edge rushing phenom Myles Garrett. Washington is continuing to stay competitive, however, without the elite coaching staff around Luck, The Redskins are still a perennial playoff team, but not contenders. On top of that, Mike Shanahan, now with 3 rings, is a lock for the Hall of Fame. At 65 years old man Shanahan calls it a career. In the next draft, the Colts are slightly improved, but still terrible, and because they elected not to draft a quarterback last year, they are in desperate need of one this year. Unfortunately, they aren't picking early enough to take either of the top 2 guys, Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold, so they're forced to take number 3, the highly polarizing kid from Wyoming, Josh Allen. For the next 7 seasons and counting, we've got a Josh Allen and Myles Garrett tandem in Indianapolis. We also don't get an early retirement from Andrew Luck, who, in 2026, is 36 years old and is still slinging it for Washington. One injured neck didn't just change Peyton Manning's career, it reshaped the entire NFL for over a decade. Did the Colts fail Andrew Luck? Does Josh Allen win a ring in Indy? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe for more NFL videos.